Hello, and welcome to Slash and Fuck, a stupid sexy D&D podcast. As the title suggests, we are a mature podcast and will be dealing with adult themes and content as our story unfolds. Since you're here, I want to thank you for starting this journey with us, and we hope you enjoy your stay. So without further ado, let's slip into something a little more comfortable.
All right, we're back with another episode of Slash and Fuck.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Welcome back. And as we left off in the last session, you guys woke up in the kobold camp in the Mushroom Cave. Raoul escorted you guys up and out of the cave into a tree that led to a branch that led to a path. On the path, you saw some will-o-wisps that tempted you. You both noticed that Raoul seemed very put out that you were leaving and where you were going.
Bye, buddy.
You know, he can't go with you. And you noticed the flamboyant and blusterous Raoul wouldn't really say Oberon's name too loudly. When you said you were looking at me, you know, he was like, oh, Oberon, you know, like,
that guy.
You guys made an ally out of him and the kobolds. And
Could I have like a trinket, like something to remember him by? You know, like I
lucky
have
kobold foot?
Well, I have like a lock of Eska's hair, right? Just some kind of serial
serial killer,
type
Yeah, just some sort
memento.
of like, you know, toenail or
right,
a lock of hair.
like
For my
their
collection,
favorite hoodie or something.
A bag of
Yes,
pubes.
exactly. That totally normal version.
Totally normal version of a bag of pubes.
All right, so you guys brought a horse and he left Raoul behind. He mentioned not trusting the wisps and you didn't, and you continued on.
Onward
To adventure!
to adventure.
That's right. So as you both and the horse venture down this path that you previously remember being described, change before your very eyes into more of a sandy path that you would imagine finding in like some dunes or maybe a beach, or the plants give way into grasses and hardier stuff. But there are, you know, sand banks on the sides of the path as you continue further. And as you crest the ridge, by the way, it's very bright. The sun, the sky isn't blue, it's white. And there isn't really like a light source like the sun. It's just kind of bright everywhere. And it's like if high noon was like in
Forever.
6 different directions directly above you.
Oh my god.
So very little shadow going on at all. And yeah, as you crest this ridge, you see what looks like this sandy landscape go down into a valley and then rise up a bit into a wooded area where all the trees are the same height. And it looks like the tops of the trees have all been just sheared off flat. So there's no tree tips. It's all very flat looking. Top
scary.
of this ridge that you're looking out over. Yeah, looking around to the left and the right, the sand dunes seem to go off into forever to either side of you. And so too does that wooded area, like you're coming across a zone line or something like that, a very poorly done zone line. And
cross.
yeah. And so as you guys keep getting closer, like you've noticed before, sometimes the paths that seem like, you know, 10 miles straight ahead start to warp as you go down and through, and it gets closer to you as you walk. This is another one of those times. You're making your way up as this path narrows a bit and becomes earthen. And takes you up to an incline that keeps getting a bit steeper as you're walking. Nothing super difficult to walk on, but it does keep getting steeper and steeper, and you're getting out of breath going up there. You guys take your time and don't rush it, but it is very steep incline. And when you get to the top, it's almost like the top of a skate ramp or something, where it just levels off, and the horse is tired and pissed off. Did not like walking up that kind of hill, especially that slowly. But when you get your bearings and you start looking around, at the top of this hill, you're seeing out in front of you the tops of all of these trees that look like they had been sheared off. And there's a very large forest below you, which sounds like it's very active with trees and animals and water running and things like that. And they're at the tops of these trees, and they're all kind of patterned together like a vineyard almost. And the tops of these trees are actually, you notice all these trees are hollow. They're very large, let's say 10 to 20 feet across. Pretty crazy. Not really sure what these are for. And as you're looking around, you look down below you. What you see is over the side, the edge of this, there's kind of a cliff that you're looking. I want to say at least 100 feet down is a bunch of some of those mushrooms that you've seen in the cave.
Oh, shit.
And you can't tell if they're growing on the ground or the side of the cliff face that you're staring down. But they're massive, bigger than the ones you saw in the cave. And it's a really long drop. But you do remember Raoul mentioning that it's not a very safe journey, and you're going to have to be very good with jumping the mushroom. So as you're considering and looking down, you're like, okay, all right. And you're like staring at yourself, your stuff, you're staring at the horse. In between your breasts, the idol warms, and it looks like it starts to rain, but only
In my boobs?
Well, not just on your boobs. No, not on you, actually. It's raining just out in the center above one of these trees. And you can see this shadow that the cloud is casting, even though this cloud seems quite vapor-like rather than a thick rain cloud.
Okay.
Shimmers a bit. But it is casting a shadow and casting rain upon one of the trees.
Okay. I think that's our tree then.
Yeah. What's our vector? Could we reach that tree from here with the
does
mushroom
it
jump?
Get toable?
It looks like certain death.
Awesome.
It to your eyes, this is, well, if I land on that mushroom, I'm at least going to shatter my legs and, go through it at best and land on the bottom. And the distance that one would need to go, say if the mushroom does take your weight and springs you upward, would have to be something like a 200, 300 feet out. And you're coming from at least 100-foot drop.
Okay.
Whatever. Fuck the shit. Thea's gonna take all the crap off the ass of the horse, and she's gonna throw it over the side of the fucking thing, look at the idol and go, "Do you fucking see?" And she's gonna show. "Do you see what I've done?" Slap the horse on the ass and say, "Get the fuck out of here, buddy. Don't get eaten."
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You're like, you see what I've done? What you've made me do? And you slap the horse, and it goes like walking off and gives you a sad, like, "Are you sure? Look." And you're like, not, can't deal with this. And Astris, you're watching this whole thing and you're like, oh no. And behind Thea, as she like slaps the horse and watches it walk off, you see all the stuff she threw over the side of the cliff ascending. And bouncing in an arc that's going seemingly all together into the trunk that's getting rained on.
She's going to take the idol and she's going to look at it. She's going to look at that. Jaw absolutely dropped. She's going to look back at the idol and go, "You cheeky motherfucker. All right.
Yes.
I'm coming."
Do it.
And she puts it back in her tits and is like, "All right, bitch, let's play."
Are we mushroom jumping?
Oh, I'm good at this. Is how I die. I'm gonna die getting to daddy. All right. Oh God. All right. I don't love a +3 to that, but let's ride. Don't love it, but let's go.
Or, Astris could help maybe. Maybe you could jump at the same time.
I could spot you, whatever would make you feel more confident.
Hold my hand,
Okay.
Astris.
Let's go at the same time. I love that. And that way we can count off and get our timing good.
1,
2, 3.
All right. So, all right.
Okay. It could be worse. 14.
24.
Yeah, so you both hold hands and jump at the same time. And this is horrific. You just jumped off a cliff, and it becomes very apparent and terrifying suddenly that
Screaming the whole way.
The wind is whipping up, and your clothes are slapping you in the face.
My skirt flies up.
And you're just falling faster and faster and faster. You see the mushroom coming up at you at great speed. And right when you impact, it's as if you had just kind of gotten caught in a big rubber or like a bungee cord type situation, and you sink into this mushroom. And Astris is nearly breaking all of your fingers, holding you tight. Just as you think like this mushroom can't really take much more, and you're hearing a stretching and pulling noises and almost like a tearing, it shoots you back upwards. And
still screaming.
Yeah, you're still screaming. And this time it's harder to scream because the air is going into your mouth now. And before, when you were falling and going faster and faster down, it seems you're accelerating somehow upwards. And this arc takes you up very high, much higher than you thought it would take you.
Oh, God.
This is not a long arc. This is a very high pointed arc that you're taking. And you bust through cloud cover. You get a glimpse around. In fact, give me a perception check.
9. I'm too scared to see shit.
Oh, that's fine.
Apparently.
+3.
Oh, you rolled it?
Yeah.
17.
Cool.
Thea is having a hard time noticing her surroundings. Falling and ascending is not something she's used to, and it's not something that Astris is used to either. But Astris has been trained specifically to look for the details when things get rough. And while you guys are what seems to be at your highest point, Astris looks around a little bit and sees what looks like a children's board game, but can't quite see the edges. But things are sectioned here and checkered, and you're looking around and you see all these different near the borders of things. It's shifting like a snake, and it's blending together. And it looks to you like where you've been mostly traveling has been along the borders of things and popping in and out into other ones. Now, as you're beginning your descent, Astris, you you notice kind of a shriek on the wind that you didn't notice earlier. Well, sorry. It's not Thea's shriek on the
in
wind.
addition to
Yeah, there's Thea shrieking next to you, holding your hand, and now it feels like she's going to break your hand.
God.
You hear another shriek, but this one sounds more animalistic, and you recognize it a bit, and it sounds like Glasswing.
Oh God.
And you're looking around, and you can't quite find where it is, and then you look and just see what looks like a shadow that's shrinking, and just a bit of a flap of a wing that you assume is a dragon within the shadow that's shrinking. And as you're falling, you're seeing the shadow shrink, and you swear just before you lose sight of it, you see a smile in the shadow somehow. And when you see that smile, it feels like it sees you, and you get the strangest feeling of vulnerability and humiliation, as if you're in trouble, as if, the mother of your orphanage is tearing you a new one in front of everybody. And just as it leaves sight, that feeling goes away. And you look over to Thea, and her lips and her mouth are full of air and flapping, and her eyelids are kind of going all over the place. And it doesn't seem like she saw it.
Unsexy.
And then you notice that you are about to go right into the trunk of this tree. All right. You enter the hole, and the feeling of falling kind of catches. You don't feel like you stop as if you landed, but you feel like you might be floating. You can't see anything. If you look above, you can see the white sky above you gets smaller and smaller and ends up looking like a moon. As you descend, you see clouds, fluffy, almost like you could touch them like cotton clouds that you push through, and it puffs away in bits and pieces. You start to hear crickets and frogs in nature. You softly, very softly, land. As you land, you see what you land upon, which is this open flower. Large purple flower.
Oh.
And it's just very softly moving its petals in like as if it were underwater, or a light breeze is hitting it. And the flower gives off a light around you, and you're looking around what looks to be in sort of a glade at night. And in the sky, you see hundreds, thousands of the same shape, little moons all above you.
Whoa.
And the scene around you starts to take more shape, and you see weeping willow trees scattered, and this beautiful, long, glossy, dark green grass that slick with dew surrounds you. And do you guys want to stand up? Get up off this flower?
Yeah. Whoa. This is surreal.
Yeah, are we underground? Is this...
Your guess is as good as mine.
The idol is warmer now.
Oh, well,
in the right place?
it's warmer, so I think so.
As you guys stand up and gather yourselves and look around, you can hear and see creatures approaching out of the dimness. From your dark vision outside of the light that this flower is giving off, it looks like deer or something. And they're approaching softly. Doesn't seem like they're sneaking or anything, but they're approaching directly towards you.
Mm.
And do you guys just wait, or do you say anything, or do you hide or pull your weapons or anything like that?
How many are there?
Seems like there's 2.
Oh, okay.
Two deer?
Yeah.
They're just coming right at us. Like,
Yeah, slowly walking towards you.
okay.
Mosey in.
Yeah.
Hello.
I look at them and be like, hello there, friends.
Well, as you are seeing them approach, you're not quite in the like, hey, how are you range.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But their shape becomes more clear, and they are humanoid up top and deer-like from their waist down, with 4 deer legs, a deer body, and a feminine upper half, with hair of vines and leaves. And as they get closer, you notice that the leaves and the vines grow in and around outside of the hair and through piercings and other parts that are just, in her shoulders, nipples. But these are what looks like thorn piercings, and the vines and leaves of her hair is threaded through in patterns all over their torsos and down onto their deer halves.
Neat.
Their skin is that of a pastel blue, but a midnight in a way.
Okay.
It glows a bit in the gloom. They approach, seemingly unafraid, and they walk up to you, and they both bow in a way where their one little leg of their deer goes down, and the other leg goes forward, and then they do a little curtsy up top.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And they say, "Welcome, chosen one.
Oh.
He
Thank
waits
you.
for you."
Oh, thank you so much for coming to greet me. Paladin, would you grab my bags?
Of course,
No.
my lady.
She must wait.
You bitches.
We thank you.
She must wait?
We thank you, Astris, for protecting our chosen. We thank you, Astris, for escorting our chosen, but you cannot go any further. Not
like-
here.
Ever or just today?
I'm not just gonna leave her. Hold up.
They're trying to split the dream team, these fucking tricksy bitches. These hot, tricksy bitches. Well, listen, maybe they're just trying to, sequester you off for some, really hot, sapphic, deer orgy.
That's totally fine.
Right?
I can wait here, and then when you're done with your orgy, we can reconvene, right? That's how we make sure that we're both okay.
All right. The dryads, spoilers. The dryads say to you, they're speaking in unison, by the way. They're both saying this at the same time. Same cadence and everything. Anko Inse Ok does not permit mortals, unless specifically chosen, to enter his court.
Oh, that's fine. I can wait here, and then...
You will not be separated forever.
That still sounds ominous.
Is there, can
The guardian
the
of
chosen
our
make a plea?
the guardian of our chosen is very special indeed and held in high regard. She has much use ahead of her with the chosen.
Okay. You'll take her to lodgings and she'll have a room and food and safety?
Yes. She will stay.
Okay. Thank you. Just, let me, say a brief goodbye to my paladin real quick. I'll be right back, ladies. And so, just sort of put my arm around Astris's shoulders and be like, Are you okay with that?
I'll be okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean,
Are you sure you'll be okay alone?
are you gonna be okay?
Yes.
Are you sure? You don't sound sure.
I'll be okay.
Well, I'll still be here for you.
I believe you. All right. Okay. I'll see you later then.
Good luck in there.
Hey. So Thea goes to take a step.
And I give her a big
quick.
hug and I slap her on the ass.
I was
But
gonna
real
say, give
sportsman
Astris a
like.
kiss on the cheek. We both kind of like Thea kind of turns around the same time, like Astris goes to walk, and they both just kind of into each other, hands trying to hug and smooch. I think I end up smooching your temple or something. I'm like, the fuck?
We're so good.
We're so good.
Yeah, those two totally in unison dryads. They get it. They know what it's like to have a buddy cop situation.
Do. They get it.
Yeah.
They get it. All right.
We're same. I'm like, I look at them. I'm like, we're the same. Same.
Same you and I. And they're just like, whatever, in unison.
Okay.
That was.
Are you done? Yeah. Yes. I'm done.
Go get him, Tiger.
All right. And they bow their heads to Astris and then nod to Thea and lead you, Thea, further into the glade. Astris, you're watching Thea walk off, and you're standing near this really pretty glowing purple flower. And eventually, Thea's out of eyesight. You can't hear them walking anymore. And make a perception check.
Because everything explodes.
That's right. You really should have thought about this.
Should have.
I don't know why you guys never check for traps. Idiots.
We're not rogues, dude. That's not my purview.
Not my fault.
5.
Not my fault. There's not
5.
a rogue in the party.
Okay. 5.
We need
5.
Raoul.
We need Raoul. Go finish your artificing degree, Raoul. Come on.
Break me out of this cage, Raoul. Wake me up inside, boy.
Me up inside. Get that tongue up inside.
All right. So you're fantasizing. You're like, wow, this is really crazy. Well, I guess I'll just stand here. And then on your ankle, well, not your ankle, but on your leg, there's a back piece where you tie up. There's just a little bit where you're not armored right there. And you feel a pinch.
Oh, no.
And you're like, ow. And you look down. You're like, what the fuck? Roll a fortitude save.
Jesus. Okay.
Oh, what have I done?
13.
All right.
I'm sorry, 11.
Even better.
Oh no, he's pumping the air, folks. No.
We've got a fist pump, guys.
No.
It's happening. We
Dice-
done got.
They went my way for once. Shit, finally.
They did it.
Oh.
They
thank
did
you,
it.
Dice gods.
Oh my god.
All right. So
Oh no.
you feel, and you die.
And you die.
Yeah. Yeah. It triggers the explosives, inside of your armor that you didn't check for. You feel a pinch and you're like, ow, what the fuck? And you look down and you see King Floof standing there behind you. And as his mouth is closing, it looks kind of awkward. Closes his mouth and then sits down. And you're, what are you doing here? And you get so drowsy all of a sudden. And he does a slow blink. And then you feel yourself kind of crashing to the ground. And
Okay, but wait,
pass out.
I'm I can't be magically put to sleep.
It's not magic.
What?
So, yeah, Thea's feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
She walked off with these charming dryads.
Totally. I trust them implicitly. They just seem so trustworthy.
And they are quiet as they're leading you down what's now leading to what looks like a garden path. And as you are heading into this garden path, you notice that the roses along the sides of the path are gigantic, like 5 times the size of a normal rose.
Oh, wow.
And they go from a deep black to lavender, violet, and all different shades of purple.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah. You see more of those big flowers that you landed on, smaller ones, interspersed between the rose bushes, giving off light ground effects. You are in this hazy purple garden. It's breathtaking. And animals like the crickets and the frogs and the night sounds are making more of a melody or a rhythm as you walk down to this peaceful path. Your heartbeat, the steps on the ground between you and the 2 dryads, and all the sounds are making this wonderful hum and rhythm for you. The path leads to an opening in the path that opens up to a grove. There is a huge, right in the center, a flower bud, probably about 25 feet tall.
Whoa.
Yeah, and 10 feet across.
Whoa.
That's big.
There are blue lights like fire on the ground. And as you get closer and walk by it, you notice it just floats about 6 inches off the ground, harming nothing, giving off no heat. It's adding to this bizarre and, seductive ambiance. The dryads stop and they turn towards you, standing to either side, and they say, "We thank you again for coming all this way, chosen." And they do the little kneel bow thing, and then they walk to either side of you the way you came.
Thank you very much, ladies.
You start to hear a drum beat coming from the ground, maybe. You feel it through your feet, like bass moving through you. This thump, 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 thump. And the idol between your breasts.
Still is, yep.
It's hot to the touch.
Ow. I mean, not to me.
Not to you.
That doesn't hurt. Feels good. It's good.
It doesn't hurt, no. But it is almost like it came right out of the oven. Now it's starting to beat with this drum beat. And you see shimmering and flickering throughout the blue firelight as it starts to pulse, and it all starts lighting up in rows as if it's all leading towards that flower bud in the center. And you can't help but find yourself drawn closer to this.
She's going to walk there in time with the beat because she's one of those people who can't not walk to a beat.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And you do have your lute and everything too.
Cool. So she'll start sort of just picking along to the beat as she walks, just sort of seeing what comes. Jamming. She's jamming on the way over.
Nice.
Yeah. So you start playing along to this beat. You notice just how powerful this instrument is. It's twice as loud. And as you start to play, you notice you're able to see shades of magic in things, it giving you this ability to see further, like shadows on things that you wouldn't normally see.
Oh, interesting.
The rhythm increases in tempo and then eventually comes to a roll and and then stops right as you get to the base of the bud. And you see as this flower blossoms before you, huge, like peels of a banana, but 1, 5, 10, how many? It just keeps coming.
Wow.
And opening and fluttering as each layer kind of settles. And you see each of these petals as this rainbow, but mostly purple. That's the main thing. And
Sweet.
and as it fully opens, you see before you a 9-foot tall man.
My God.
He looks as though he is made of malachite or something. His skin gives off a reflection like from the firelight, and his features perfect, but looking as if it's just as featureless as he could come. In a way, he doesn't look like the satyr of your idol, and he doesn't look like other depictions of what you've seen of him. He looks like a man carved of dark, deep green, standing before you, face darkened, but eyes looking at you and into you. Large, muscular, well-proportioned, and completely naked.
Whoa. Hi.
Big ol' hog.
Eye level with it.
He pecking. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to set my instrument down to the side and sort of kneel and take the thing out of my boobs.
The thing.
The idol.
That thing.
Yeah, the idol. Thank you. Take the idol out from the cleavage, look at it, and look back to him and go, "You are much more attractive in person, my lord."
My ripest plum, I thank you. I, Anko Inse Oak, as my full title, you have heard. Only you would I allow to call me Oberon.
I'm honored.
He sits down and sits cross-legged. And as he sits, you notice his form begins to shrink. And he takes on a more normal size. You'd say it's hard to tell because he's sitting down as it happens, but he seems at least under 7 feet tall now. And yeah, the manhood that was at once longer than your forearm has changed as well.
Yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah.
I can work with that. That'll fit.
He says, orchid of my lust, please. And he motions for you to come and sit with him on this flower.
So I'll get up and make my way over to the chair and sit on his lap.
Uh-huh. He seems pleased by this. And he seems to soften a bit. If you didn't know any better, he might have been a little bit nervous.
Aww.
But there's no way to know for sure. I mean, this guy's a god. He smells great. It's hard to describe, but it's basically your favorite smell. You're just, wow, that's great.
Just, wow.
Yeah, you can't really
that's
put,
the
you're like,
best
oh,
smell.
like sandalwood, or, it's just like, that's a
just keeps
good
changing.
masculine smell. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. So when you sit, you notice behind you, where you came in, things have changed a little bit. But you're seeing like a limestone crag that feeds a bubbling, gentle waterfall into a spring pool. You're now seeing within the spring pool like a little pack of nymphs giggling and cavorting and splashing each other. It looks like a large carved oak table sitting to one side near the pond. Cluttered with steaming dishes and drinks and crystal bottles and different colored wines that cast a luminous glow across the plates. And now that you take one last look up, it's not a bunch of those little moons anymore, but one titanic, massive full moon, and it's engulfing the sky directly above this clearing. It's pouring warm and gentle moonlight over the grass.
When she sits down and sort of like looks out and like sees all of that, just sort of take it in for a moment. This is far and away the most beautiful place I have ever seen. I didn't know magic like this was possible.
First among my flowers, I built this place for you, for our meeting.
No one's ever built me anything before.
He looks to you now. He was sort of looking ahead, straight ahead, and then when you sat down in his lap, he seemed maybe a little taken aback that you just sat right down. But he eventually put his hand on the small of your back, and he said that he looked down and gave the barest of a smirk. And he says, "You seem tired from your journey."
I am. It was long. I had to say goodbye to the horse today.
A horse? You are fond of this horse?
Yeah, it came with us from the town, and I saved it from being eaten by... You know what? That's neither here nor there. Yes, I am.
Do not fear for this horse.
Well, I feel better now. Truly. It's a good horse.
He makes a very subtle gesture as if he's like just kind of glancing over your shoulder for just like the barest second after he said, "Don't fear for the horse." He asks you if you'd like to eat, if you want some refreshments, if you'd like to sit down in the hot spring.
Eat the pomegranate seeds. Do it.
Eat the pomegranate seeds. Yeah, I would. I can think of nothing I would rather do.
He gives a little bear smirk again, and he moves you off of his lap in the same motion of him standing up. He is able to lift you up somehow by the small of your back. So he just kind of picked you up with that one hand there, just getting around the muscles around your spine in a comfy way, and just, he's got a big hand.
Wow, damn.
Like picking up a doll.
Like a Barbie.
He says, "My ripest plum, these are your attendants. They were mine. Handmaidens, they are yours now." And the nymphs in the pool come splashing over out of the pool, and they come running over, and they grab your finger, and they're like, come with us, and laughing, and they're kind of bouncing around, leading you to the table.
She kind of laughs and follows them and like looks back at Oberon like, what? Are you coming? These are mine. What?
He nods. And then walks off in a different direction. But it was a warm nod. The nymphs are very pleased to have you. They want to attend to your every need. once you're sitting down, they're adjusting every part of your clothing to be perfect. If you set your hand down too long on the armrest, they'll start cleaning your fingernails and stuff. And little pixies are coming by and picking up the metal coverings over the plates to reveal steaming plates of different meats and potatoes and vegetables and all kinds of very succulent and amazing smelling and looking food, as if was just prepared.
Oh, this is so much better than that hairy potato egg.
Yeah, and you notice the nymphs don't really talk too much. They just sort of do what you want and stop doing things you don't want. And they pick it up real quick.
How many are there?
It looks like them zipping about. There's 6 or 7 of them.
Oh, wow.
And they are, you'll reach for something and they'll bring it to you as you're reaching, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Princess
so
shit.
They're making sure you are attended.
Wow. Well,
they're
I'll have
flying
to learn all
over
of their names.
Flying over, like 2 pixies are flying up with a bib and then, putting.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, that's really funny. So I guess as that's like happening, I don't think she would just sit there in silence. I think she would try to talk to them, be like, hey, so, hi.
They laugh every time that you talk to them, and they like embarrassed, and they're like, "Oh my God, he like talk to me," and then they kind of skitter off and like he giggle, and then start doing something else to help you.
Are they like actually talking back, or is this fucking Alice in Wonderland shit?
Kind of more Alice in Wonderland shit.
Okay, cool.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Delightful.
So you start digging in, and they're not.
Like a lady.
Yeah, I mean it's
Like a lady.
it's really good. It's really good, and you don't know how long you've been out here.
Sure.
It could be 12 hours. It could be 36 hours. You are pretty tired. You're not going to fall asleep where you're sitting, but you do feel out of it. And this is the best meal that you've ever been presented. And everything you eat is the best you've ever had.
Ugh. Oh, never gonna touch those fucking hairy eggs again. Wow.
I feel like she's just like kind of struck by being like, wow, I've had maybe like the worst meal of my life, and then like the best meal of my life, just one right after another. Just a viscerally gross meal and just like the most beautiful cuisine I've ever seen.
Yeah, served to you by hot pixies.
Right?
Nymphs. Yeah, and some are like massaging your shoulders, and
That feels so good.
they're getting the tangles out of your hair.
Thank
Flying behind you. They're fighting each other over a little like comb, and seems like they want one that's like
her hair. No,
a finer tooth. Yeah, and little squabbles there. It's adorable. Yeah. And the wine, as I said, there's different colored bottles, and they all glow. It's beautiful. Yeah, even the grapes, just simple grapes, they're huge and they're juicy and delicious and just mind-blowing. After a time, when it looks like you're getting full, you don't really want to stop eating because it's so good. But your attendants start pulling at you at your skirts and pointing at the spring, and they're all kind of like bouncing up and down and like, you think they want to give you a bath or something.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I should have a bath. Oh gosh, I
I am disgusting. That's embarrassing. I can't believe he saw me. Like, oh my God, I sat on him like this. Oh my God. Fuck.
Well, you're not completely filthy. I know that
I'm
your
filthy
standard
for me.
operating procedure is to prestidigitation anything away. So, but yeah, you haven't had a real deal bath, and you love those.
I do. I'm a bath girl.
You haven't had
a
one,
real
and
deal bath
at
since,
least
like episode 1.
yeah, like at least
I
4
know.
days. Maybe even less actually, but yeah. So they're helping you strip, and they're putting your clothes to the side and laughing and like burying each other in them. You know, like one of them's trying to like organize, and then they keep throwing piles on top of it. It's just shaking its little fist. And
they play. They have.
yeah, they let your hair down fully, and yeah, they lead you up into the stone jacuzzi, essentially.
She slips right on into that jacuzzi.
And yeah, it is a hot spring fed by a hot waterfall, and it is bubbling everything, and it is just fantastic. You notice the nymphs swimming towards you under the water, and in their hands they're holding big pumice stones, and they're like, some of them can't quite get them. They're really too heavy, so they're walking backwards along the bottom, dragging it. Yeah, and then you start to feel them exfoliating from your feet up.
Oh, I'm going to be so fucking soft.
I know this isn't allowed because it's not my character, but I'm imagining that it's just me. Like, not even my character, it's just me. That
It's just crit.
yeah,
It's just crit.
it's my imagination. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, girl. Get in here
Great.
with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you sink further, and the little hands keep climbing, and then they start in from the top and get your hair wet and your scalp, and they start scrubbing and scratching your scalp with their little hands, and it just feels really good. So they got
She's
these little
all the
fingers.
purring.
Yeah, it's just really getting in there. And it seems like they've got some sort of suds thing going on now. So, yeah, it smells great. It smells like lavender. You know, men, they see one thing and they're just like, purple. Yes, my purple lady. And so, it's sweet.
It is sweet. It's the most, it's probably some of the most attention she's ever been paid ever.
And yeah, you're getting your face massaged now and cared for. Yeah, and you're getting the little massages of them like underwater and everything like that. So like your legs and your feet and your toes are all getting little massages and scrubbed. It's great. Tiny little hands. And yeah, you can't help but, close your eyes. And speaking of eyes being closed.
Huh?
Well, I'm having a spa day.
Astris.
Yeah, me too. That's also what.
In your dream, when you're in your sleepy dream.
Astris, you open your eyes and you are standing in darkness. Vast darkness. The ground beneath you is like polished stone.
Okay, I open my eyes then.
Yeah.
Open my eyes again.
Yeah. And you're at a farm. It's nice. No, you are standing in darkness and stillness and silence. Your ankle hurts kind of a little bit. And when you look down at your ankle, you don't really look substantial. You look like a shadow of yourself, but more substance than a shadow, but less substance than you would normally be. And hard to make out anyway in this lack of light. You hear what feels like a breath all around you. Like a soft sigh. and a whisper. It's your name, Astris. And the chill, that feeling that you would get choosing, the craziness of your day and taking the armor, those feelings that you were getting in response to the decisions that you were seeming to make, hits you as your name is spoken. And it's a feminine voice, subtle, and it sounds like it's smiling when it says, almost as if it's whispering into your ear, "It took much to reach you. You have amused me and made me proud." And the voice becomes more like all-encompassing, and that breath becomes a wind that kind of wraps around you. And this light begins to emanate from your feet and outward, a red glow. And it is the exact same red glow that you've seen on the southern horizon. As you are seeing this glow come forth from your feet and light from the ground upward, a figure stands before you, enshrouded in what looks like shadowy flame. There's no light, but the flickering and movement of flames, an obscured form, very tall, with large, reaching horns towards the sky, a loop forward and upward. You can see the silhouette of wings, large wings. You can't tell if bat-like or bird-like, but wings that are then folding up to this feminine form of at least 13 feet tall. Her one hand is outstretched with her palm upward, and you hear it's kind of like a sucking of breath every time, right before she speaks, like this. And you feel a warmth, that same warmth, and that power pulse through you when she speaks, and the breath that seems to be flowing around and through you. She goes, "You, the champion, discarded, forgotten, disposed, unknowingly doing the righteous, the glory. I shall raise you again to champion." She is in front of you. There was no approach. She is directly in front of you, and now you're getting more of a look, and it's awe-inspiring. Terror in a it's terror-inducing, but not but
no, it's fucking scary.
yeah, it's like if a bear just was standing up in front of you. Suddenly, that's the
Beautiful but terrifying.
but not like the dragon fear where you're just shitting your pants and running. You're in awe.
Failing to run.
And you see a crimson skin and flashes of shadow, and what you think is just a feeling of blood. Blood pushing through, pumping. And as you realize she's in front of you, you are kneeling. And she says to you, "I shall raise you, my paladin, if you were to accept." And she puts her hand out in front of you, and you see a very, this hand has extremely long fingers, with extremely long, pointed, perfect nails. And on the pinky of her exquisite, perfect hand is a ring with a ruby inset into it, a large one. And it is cut into a blood drop shape. She holds her hand lazily in front of you, but you feel the intensity and passion of her direct gaze upon you. It is, in the smallest sense, euphoric, orgasmic, as if you were being sucked through a tunnel at high speed, yet you're standing as firm as ever. Or kneeling, rather. As firm as ever. And this being in front of you, that it feels like a cracked egg that starts spreading over your head a bit, and warmth spreading over your body as that familiar feeling comes again as she's this close. And it feels like power, and it feels like righteousness, and it felt like the day that you freed yourself.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, can I kiss the ring?
All right. You kiss the ring. All right. Thea. You are just getting, you're all scrubbed down head to toe and just laying back, sort of floating, and getting, your temples massaged and, your hair
Just so loosey-goosey relaxed.
Yeah, like your hair's over the side, so it's out of the water now, and they're, drying it and they're brushing it. And you feel and hear, like that breath on the wind, Oberon approach. A presence just surrounds you, and you open your eyes and you see him getting into the pool with you.
She sort of smiles a little lazily, but happily. And it's just like, oh, there you are. I was wondering where you got off to.
Do the attendants please you?
Yeah, they're great. I don't know if I've ever been this clean. It's remarkable.
This pleases me. Breeze and my bows. May I approach?
Yes.
He approaches, glides toward you in the water. And as he does so, the attendants all flutter away.
And she sort of sits up.
You feel on either side of your legs his hands touching your knees and then sliding up the sides of your legs. He pulls his hands back down the top of your legs until he reaches your knees, and then just pushes your legs apart and gets closer. Softly.
She sort of like looks down, like kind of just like watching him with a grin as he does it.
He says, "My fragrant lavender, my most feral desire, giving yourself to me means that I will be the vine of life and the power which you tap. We will always be connected. You may speak with me from anywhere, and I will answer. You will take no other patron, but you may have any lover. Know this, giving yourself to me means you belong to me forever."
Forever.
Yes.
Would I even live that long?
He smiles this time, and it's more of a grin, like a sneaky one. And his head sinks below the water, and you begin to feel nibbles and licks along your legs and thighs. And he doesn't go any further and just kind of holds himself there beneath the water. And you can feel his hands giving your legs a massage and rubbing you. And it seems like he's waiting for you.
She runs a hand through his hair, sort of encouragingly, and hikes a knee over one of his shoulders.
Well, if that ain't consent, I don't know what is. And you look down through the water and you can see him smiling again. But as he approaches, you notice the licks and nibbles along your thighs. And you feel his tongue creep along your panty line much longer than you anticipated.
Well, hello there.
Yeah. Every time he makes contact with your skin, whether by squeezing or nibbling or whatever, you're getting that feeling, that magical feeling that you get when you cast things.
Oh, wow.
And it just feels great. You know, every time he squeezes your knee or your thigh or something like that, it's orgasmic in and of itself. And then
probably just a chorus of little gasps and moans.
Totally.
As all of that's going. I feel like vocal adjacent. Vocal adjacent.
Yeah. Yeah. And so just the touch alone giving you this intense, wonderful feeling. And then he gets to your pussy.
We've said it, folks.
Is that all right? Should I rephrase it?
Here we are. And this is why we've been rated F this whole time. You've been waiting.
It was a test.
You were wondering if we were ever going to do it. We did.
It happened.
We're doing it. We're doing sex now.
You're welcome, everyone.
It's officially our.
And yeah, you have, of course, had the fine pleasure of somebody going down on you in the past.
How nice.
This, yeah,
Good for you.
Unlike some virgins or any loser.
Unlike some armored losers.
Yeah.
No judgment, but fucking loser.
Yeah, take off your jock strap, bro. Yeah, this is unlike anything that you've experienced in the past. It paired with the magical sensations flows through you in waves, and isn't necessarily a situation where you are riding up the line and brought to climax and back down and everything. It just kind of starts and goes and wells up and wells down a bit, but it's all pretty much high overdrive once he gets going.
Wow.
You find yourself now floating on your back. You, every once in a while, from the babbling water and your own sounds, you can hear some of the nymphs and attendants giggling and laughing and even making similar noises that you are.
They're learning.
Yeah. And you know,
Take notes, ladies.
you can't see them, but they're probably pantomiming some things too.
That's hilarious.
He
my own little Greek chorus.
Aw,
I love them.
He slows down and finishes and stands with you floating on your back. And one hand holding your back and the other running up your belly and up between your breasts and then around the side of your face and your hair. And he looks down at you and starts to lean over, and he says, "Then let us seal the pact," as he looks down straight into your eyes and then pulls you into a kiss.
When he cups her cheek, she puts his hand over his, and an arm over his shoulder and sort of around his neck, and pulls herself into his chest.
As you thrust yourself into him, you feel yourself being lifted out of the water. Your lips meet in the water, and he pulls you up. He starts walking out of the pool, and you hear all of the nymphs and pixies just scatter. They're all like right at the edge of the pool.
Scatter!
And yeah, you're both just making out as he's walking you towards this, the center where the flower blossomed earlier that he revealed himself from.
Sick.
And as you reach it, he lays you down on your back. You keep kissing as he brings his thumb on his right hand up above your head, and he just places it between your eyes. And as he does so, you feel him penetrate you. And a bright green light fills your vision. So bright, like you were staring at the sun. And pleasure, as you feel from within you a green light shoot up and meet that light between your eyes. And you climax hard, instantly, shotgun orgasm.
Damn.
Trembling, back arched, and single thrust, and you are still in that bridge-like position with your body tensed up, and the light begins to fade a bit, and the orgasm fades a bit with it, and you rest your back down as you are almost halfway out of breath already and sweating and shaking just from this. And you look down and he's smiling at you, again, with more warmth this time. And he thrusts again, and it matches the first time. And he goes again.
Oh my God.
And
She's not gonna have a
at this
brain
point,
after this.
you realize that with every thrust brings an orgasm, and you don't really know what the best position to be in.
All of them. Try all of them.
Yeah.
Science.
You're kind of turning, you're like crab moving around and taking your limbs and sliding them so that you can flip around.
She's laughing about it. She's having a great time. I feel like she's like, no, let's try this. Like, no, this way. Like, she's having fun with it.
Yeah. It's, he is amused by this as well. He even mentions to you that you are more resilient than any mortal that he's placed his hands upon.
It's been a very, very long time
And that was
since
about
anyone put their hands on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I guess he created a monster and didn't realize it. And so while he thought he was in control and was going to be keeping you here for as long as he wanted, it might be the other way around.
Out. Fuck a god.
But yeah, you switch positions, you move around, and he can change shape. And he changes shapes to try new things in different positions, and then you start to get the gist, and you start telling him what to do, and he fits to please. Yeah, there are times where you're in such brain racked orgasmic agony. You could have sworn there was vines holding your limbs apart. There were maybe extra hands holding you down.
Fantastic.
And, like being held in the air by vines and plants, it seemed. It's really hazy and hard to get it all, as it's much a blur.
It's a very horny montage.
Yeah. And you find yourself napping.
Oh, yeah.
It was just no conscious decision, really. You went from that, and now you're napping in a flower.
She wants to cuddle.
Cumbelina.
Cumbelina.
He says, now you carry my seed, and it is your duty to spread that seed.
What?
He sees the alarm on your face, and he kind of chuckles, and he's not a child. No.
Oh my God. I was not ready for that. Thank you.
Perhaps someday.
Oh, yeah.
The seed
not
of
off
life.
the table.
Seed of life is a different conversation. But you carry my power, my potential. It is for you to spread it like pollen in the wind. Be strong and be powerful. He says this as he's spooning you, and he's petting your hair and putting it behind your ear. This is his idea of pillow talk. He's not telling you to leave or anything, but this is him, cuddling and telling you how powerful you are now and how proud of it.
There, tiny mortal. You are very good and very strong.
Yeah. He brushes, he's playing with your hair and, whispering to you, and you're kind of falling in and out of sleep. But he mentions that the pact is sealed, and your power grows, and he has many gifts for you.
Yay.
And these are the things that are floating through your head. And as he says, I will see you in our dreams. Astris, you are kneeling before whom can be no other than Lilith, with her hand extended in front of you, and you are kissing her ring, and you hear her say, "Rise, my paladin." And she grabs you by your chin and your mouth, kind of giving the smushed mouth thing, and then lifts you up with incredible strength, but gentle enough not to hurt.
Oh, that's so hot. Oh my God.
And you see, yeah, and you see her deep red eyes boring into you, through you, as if it's always been watching you. It's like these eyes you've seen in the reflection of glass, and just in the corner of your eye that you just have always just brushed off or whatever. But these eyes are familiar, and they've watched you before. And her form begins to fade, and the eyes are what seems to be the last of it to go, as the color in the room starts to go back to black, except for right underneath you. The fingers holding your face dissipate, and you get a wink with the eyes before they're gone. and you feel your armor start to twist and pull and like pull you tighter and more uncomfortable. You've seen women in a bodice, and it feels like it's doing this all over and around you, and it's making these squealing noises, and you feel that power that you've felt before with Lilith in her presence, but it's coming from you, and it's coming from what you think is actually maybe your chastity belt.
Oh.
As you see your armor shifting and moving and pulling, and then unraveling off of your body and folding in on itself, and then sliding into your chastity belt. And just like as if you had nothing on at all, you are just standing naked with your chastity belt on. And you feel like you are at one with your armor, and you can put it on whenever you need to.
Oh my God.
From here.
That's so cool. I love that.
That's so cool.
And that's where we'll stop.
Oh my
Yes!
God!
That was so good.
Magical girls! We're magical girls! We're magical
full of
girls!
We did it! We finally got to Oberon. Oh, I hope that was as satisfying for you as it was for Thea. She's gonna be limping for a week. I can't overstate how much your listening to our podcast means to us. Don't forget to rate and subscribe on your podcasting app du jour. Until next time, stay hydrated and stay sexy.